Casemiro has agreed and decided to join Manchester United is the breaking news this evening, as United look to spend 60 million euros upon one of the best holding midfield players in Europe. He's putting on a bit in terms of age, but we're going to delve into that in more detail. Of course, we're going to be discussing the potential takeover at Manchester United as well, with the Glazers reportedly willing to sell the football club. Man United fans getting very, very excited indeed at the prospect of that. We're going to be looking at Chelsea, their transfer activity, and this big gold rush, according to Matt Law, of over £500 million being spent between now and the end of the window, with Man United and Chelsea leading the way. We're going to preview the weekend's fixtures as well. Will Arsenal make it 3 from 3? And how badly will Jurgen Klopp beat Manchester United and Erik ten Hag up? We've got a brilliant panel tonight, of course, rejoined again by the wonderful Jessica Black. Cass is here backing Manchester United. We've actually got like one from pretty much every. No, we've got 2 United because I'm a host, haven't we? We've got Dom Hussam here, looking fresh, ready to go. David is here with the ludicrous haircut. It looks nice. It looks more stylish, a little bit smarter, my friend. I'm liking it. And of course, Mr. Do-Rag himself, man like George is here. George is here back in Tottenham after their daylight robbery over Chelsea last week. And I'm sure we're going to delve into lots more. But how are we all doing, people? We good?
A little bit. And at the same time, I'm still fuming.
As expected. I'm well. I'm over the moon at the moment. I'm very happy.
Forget Tottenham, man.
Yeah, good. Look, we've got loads to get into. Get the energy up, people. We're not at a fucking funeral. I'm not the Pope. A bit of energy. Jesus Christ. It partly shows everyone's timid. Some of you have known me for 3 years. Like, it's fine. We can chat. But lots going on today. Viewers, make sure like buttons are being smashed. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. It's really, really, really important that you get that done. But the big breaking news that's come out very, very, very recently is that Man United will sign Casemiro, according to reports. I want to go to Kaz first on this. How do you feel about it? Good, bad, indifferent?
Look, regardless of the situation of the owners and stuff, we're just talking purely on transfers and this alone. I'm going to say this right loud and clear. This will be the best signing we've had in a decade since Robin van Persie. We have not had a big signing that could make actually a difference, a profile that we've been lacking since Michael Carrick. Like, we're talking about a player that's still at the top of his game. He's still got 3, 4, 5 years left. He actually works well with Fred in a pivot, which is like kind of interesting, but maybe he's that bit too defensive. So it's kind of interesting to see where, if he does come, where he would actually, how he would fare in the Man United team. But Casemiro is a big baller. No one can deny it. I don't care how much money. We've had so much money come off the books. I don't really care at this moment in time, whether it's 300k, 350k. When people see 400k, that's in euros. So that's about what, 325, 330. Just correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't really care right now because I'm desperate for any decent player. And if a player like Casemiro wants to come, 5-year deal, you can move him on 3 years later, 4 years later. It's actually decent. It's not like he's 32 or anything. And it's just one of the best profiles you can get in a 6 as a destroyer, which we've been lacking for so many years. It provides the back 4 with a lot of protection. You might see the brand become one of the top players again that he actually is, because he is at the end of the day. We just have no protection. No more McFred. We can actually scream, it's the end of McFred. Bun that McTominay. I was hoping Elon Musk would send him to the moon. Like, honestly, but clearly not. He wants to have other ideas. But he's trying to, you couldn't have said a better name, but I don't understand why Casemiro really wants to come to Man United out of all teams. When I'm surprised not another team would just come in and be like, you know what? If he wants to go, man, I want to go. I want a bit of that. I want a bit of that.
I think there's 400,000 reasons.
Doubling his wages.
No, but we don't know the actual rate. We don't know the actual wages. I feel like he might want a new challenge or something like that, and maybe in the Prem. But I'm just wondering.
You know why he's coming.
No, because
all,
a lot of other
I agree
money,
with
though.
what you're saying. He's a good signing. He's a fantastic signing, not just good. He's an amazing signing. He definitely elevates Man United, and that's exactly what they need. The DM.
Why don't Chelsea go get him or something like that, though? Do you know what I mean? Like something like that.
Forget Chelsea. They're gonna do a swap deal with Frankie De Jong and Reece James. Anyway, when it comes to the situation, I think he's a very good signing. I agree with you, but I think we all know why he's going to Man United. Let's be honest. You get me? Everyone's all these players who are like 31, 32, need a retirement home. So that's where they're going. Just nice 3-4 years of wages. They're gonna pretend they care for like 2-3 games, and then they'll just join the rest of them and start not caring again, not playing well again. Then you'll have people ranting about Casemiro again. It's just the same old movie. But he's a great signing, to be honest with you. Great signing. But we all know why he's going there. We all know money and retirement.
To show off Fabinho why he's actually in the Brazil squad over Fabinho, right? That's what he's gonna come to.
Listen, Terry at the start said this isn't a funeral.
It's the truth. I'm saying it's the truth. Him and Fred.
Real quick, so let's not do
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He's just there to
He's
really show Fabinho.
He's a good signing. He's a good signing. He's a great signing.
He's a great signing.
Okay, fine, cool, whatever. He's a great signing. It just secures six for you. Let's be honest. It just secures 6.
That's good enough because we're finishing 15th at this rate.
No, but that's what I was about to say. I was saying at the current rate, you're finishing 9th, 10th at this rate. So it's definitely a massive improvement on your midfield. I don't see much wrong with it. Again, it's prices. But now we're getting to the point where Morgan Gibbs White is 44 mil. Like,
yeah, you did get what I mean. That's in bonuses. That's in bonuses to be fair. The upfront fee was around 24 million to be fair. It's been taken out of proportion. No, it was 24, bro. Is it 35? I heard it was a bonus on the 10 million that's guaranteed. That's going to be in installments, but then 24 up front, and then the extras might happen.
That I thought it's still same old United with this sign. It's a great signing for the next 2-3 years. But when you said 4 or 5 years, that's where you're starting to see.
I didn't say 5 years. I didn't say 5. I said 3-4 years. I said 3-4 years. We can move on.
That popped up. It was Jess. She knows when you said 4 or 5 years.
I didn't say 5 years. I meant 3-4 years. He can be good for 3-4 years.
For a player that's 30 years old, giving him 400k after probably your first 2 seasons with him, he's gonna start to look really. His body's gonna break.
I don't mind, man. He comes in and he's better.
And then he's gonna start looking like Matic, and then you're gonna have a player on your bench, on your wage book that you can't get rid of, who has 2 to 3 years left in their deal, and you just can't get rid of him. And he's probably gonna end up being that because he's not gonna be happy after a while.
You can't say that you don't mind though, because this is the whole reason why you guys are Glazers out and so upset and all this kind of stuff. It's the same old United. So you guys have had many signings like this. It may not have been a DM, may not have been Casemiro, but you signed Varane. Like, you've signed players like this before where they have all the clout around them, and then you realize it's a short-term signing. So, I mean, it's kind of like talking out of both sides of your face. It's like one moment it's like, oh, well, we want a long-term plan and we want, long-term sustainability. Yeah. Now it's like, but I'll just take whatever. Casemiro is definitely, I'll just take whatever. Like, he's a great player, but don't get it twisted.
Let me put this out. Let me put this out there. So Chelsea can go sign Koulibaly, yeah, a 30-year-old man and stuff like that. But because it's Casemiro coming to Man United, no, it's not different. Don't do that. No. Don't do that because it's a start of something. It's a start of something. If you give him a 4 or 5 year deal, you can move him on 3 years later. Let's say this is going to be a new Man United with new owners and stuff like that, and get it right. You can move him on. He'll go back to Brazil. Yet, so you can't say when you think of but what I'm saying, if it's 50-60 million, I'm taking that. When you're as correct as said, when Morgan Gibbs White is 44 million in this market, that's a very good price for me. And you get to see the better of the defense in terms of Varane as well, because he actually got some protection, something we have not had in years. So if we're going to put some context, you're saying we're not Chelsea, yeah, great. But I want to hear the same energy for next man. When Aubameyang goes to Chelsea as well, 30 odd years old, they got Koulibaly 30 odd years old. We need short terms right now before we go for the long term. We can't keep doing this long term, putting money into Amad Diallo's, Palestris and so forth, because that's there. We've been wasting money. We need a short term.
That's where you're getting caught up though. There's a way to do short term and long term at the same time. Again, you guys could have bought Basuma, couldn't you have? Short term and long term.
Probably not.
So don't sit here and tell me it's just the difference between a kid or Casemiro. There's a bunch of recruitment in between that. Casemiro is an amazing player. He'll be much better than what you guys have right now, but it's short term, and you better hope his legs stay. And the Koulibaly thing as well, like Koulibaly was an excellent deal. Like, what was it, like 30 million or something like that? You're paying way over the odds for Casemiro at his age. I get that he's won everything, but like, it's not a deal. Real Madrid is probably sitting there like, I cannot believe they're willing to pay this amount.
I guarantee any club of your clubs that went in, any club that went in for him, any club that would have went on for him right now, this energy wouldn't be here. But just because it's Man United, I understand.
Well, of course it's Man United. You guys are in the mud.
Of course, I understand. Yeah, but how are we get out of the mud? So how do you get? So how do you get? You lot told me, how does Man United get out of the mud, without securing a good signing that's going to be short term for the time being, when we ain't got the choice to go long term yet, because we're on a trajectory of pretty much finishing something like 10th or 9th this season.
When you signed Cavani, it was short term. When you signed Schweinsteiger,
33, 34 years old, he was already done.
When you signed Di Maria, it was a short term signing.
He got burgled.
They already played their best football. You're signing them at points in their career where you know it's the turn of their career. They're looking to get to the next stage in their career where they're not going to be achieving as much, not going to be continuous to get better. It's after their prime.
Well, it's fine. It's fine because they'll be achieving as much as Tottenham's going to win anyways. But anyways, long story short, bro, because it's not the only signing that Man United might not make. You're making off one signing that we ain't got yet. So
question. Let me just come in and put a question. How long is the contract?
That's what I would like to know.
I saw 4 years.
I think everything everyone's saying is fair if it's a 5-year contract. If it's on a 2-year with an option to extend, I'm just throwing that out there, then it's
an amazing deal.
They got Perisic, by the way.
Hang on, guys. I mean, we get that. Equally, look, there's a comment here that says Salah is 30. I mean, Salah's just been given, a new 5-year deal at 350 grand a week. Is that too much money to pay Mo Salah at 30 in an attacking role where typically you slow down sooner? My answer is no. But I'd worry if Casemiro is on a 5-year deal with an option to extend, like 5-6 year deal at this point. That would worry me somewhat. And I think that's what we need to kind of clarify. But short term, it may work. But listen, I don't think it matters if we had a time machine, went back and got Lionel Messi at 24 years of age, Ronaldo at 24 years of age, Bobby Charlton back at 24 years of age. I still think they'd fail. It's not even about the players or the manager. It's about the way we're run, the lack of standards at the football club. And am I excited about the prospects of the deal? A little bit. Like, I want it to work. I'm a Man United fan. Do I have big faith? No. I just can't have, because of the way things work. Some super chats here. I'd pay 100 million for him. This guy is amazing. Age is just a number.
Daddy, what's his price tag? Everyone's mentioning wages. What's the price tag?
60 million euros, about 50 million pounds.
So it's 100 million now we know easily.
Now
50
we know
million
why
pounds.
People are mad. Let me just say one thing.
You're talking at once. Sorry, what did you say, Kaz? Sorry, George?
I just said that it's pretty much 100 million deal then, because his wages are going to be close to 20 million a year on 400k a week. How much did
Perisic cost Tottenham?
I don't have a clue. You guys can do
no,
I generally don't know.
Are we doing that now? Are we really doing that now?
Hang on. The only thing I'll push back on when it comes to defending Man United is, are we the only club where we're going to throw the salary on top of the transfer fee? Are we going to do that to all our transfers? Come on now. This is the top 6. Serious show. This isn't some crackerjack nonsense channel. Thank you very much for becoming a member, my friend. KC says, we'll buy a United shirt if you get him out of Spain. KC, obviously, as a Barca fan, is very happy to see it happen. Eric Ten Hag here says, you lot said the same thing with Varane. Look where he is now. Also, don't think he keeps contact with Varane and Fred in that United squad. Do you honestly think they said, come over, it's nice here? No, they probably said, come over, it pays well. That's probably what they said. Hi, Terry. I got into my uni today for A level, for your A levels. Big up to the panel. Hopefully we sign for Fana and De Jong and Aubameyang. Love your vids, Terry. First of all, congratulations on getting into university.
Well done.
What I will say is I hope you're studying a subject that's actually going to get you a job at the end of it. You're not doing something weird like human studies or sociology. You can actually, there's a degree you can get. There's a degree at the University of Essex, which is called David Beckham Studies. So I hope it's something worthwhile you're doing. You're getting a proper education, buddy, and you're going to do something with it. I once had a guy apply for a job as a private banker, and he kept on going on about how he got a degree. It was in film studies. I was like, bruv, this is a bank. You're not here filming shit. That your degree means nothing here, bruv. You'd be better off if you told me you counted the change at the end of the day at Tesco's than that degree, me old mate. But congratulations to you. I'm not taking nothing away from you. Well done, and go kill it. Go have a good night tonight. Context: United are a graveyard for football careers. Agreed. Thank you, Sarim. I appreciate that. Jess, I like you, but an Arsenal fan to tell others they're in the mud is super hilarious. What have y'all done in 20 years?
So you're saying you're not in the mud or what?
No, he's saying it's hypocritical of you to say it.
Well, not really. I mean, if Man United fans are saying it, then I can just repeat it. You guys are in the mud, regardless of what Arsenal are doing. If I followed Leighton Orient, what if, if you're in the mud, you're in the mud, come on. So, but
that
yeah,
is
thanks
true.
for the super chat.
It is. I did. By the way, you guys did bring it up. 44 million pound for Gibbs White. Honestly, that does make me feel better about some of Man United's business. If I'm being honest, I don't understand it. There's got to be money laundering going on at Nottingham Forest. They have got to be doing some kind of money laundering because it's crazy. Let's do some.
Jerry, can I just say? I want to say one thing on the Casemiro thing. Look, the reason why people are criticizing United is not because it's Man United, cast. There's no need to do that. The reason why people are criticizing Man United is because we've seen this before. Varane, Di Maria, Falcao, etc., etc., etc. Big name star doesn't quite work at Man United. Now, I think Casemiro is different. I've already said it would be a great signing. So I am with you on the first part. We just disagree on the second part, where I think the criticism comes from what has happened before with earlier signings, with the names I have mentioned, where they've come in high profile and sort of not hit the ground running. That's maybe
why people. Where I was slightly
disagree. And the price tag is a bit
where I would slightly disagree, I agree with parts of that, is I haven't seen any of you in the last 3 weeks come on here. I've not seen any of you tweet that Chelsea are embarrassing because they're chasing a player that doesn't want to join their football club, like you did with De Jong at the beginning. Man United get a very different reaction from the same as secretly, and be honest right now, that this is the terrace, this is honesty. You were all a little bit worried that we do get taken over by new good owners, right? A little bit like, a little bit.
Yeah, I think everyone will be.
Thank God, there's actually a rival that admits it. I'm glad.
I don't think anyone wants you guys to get a takeover because, of course, Man United's it's a juggernaut of a team. So once you guys get good ownership and invest properly, you're going to be dangerous again.
My stocks in Jaws just went right up. Love that, man.
on that though, guys, obviously Jim Ratcliffe has come out and said that he is willing to buy the club if it goes on the market. There is real genuine noise about the Glazers selling the football club. It's almost like it's maxed out in terms of how much is ever going to be valued. Us going backwards, ironically, is a good thing for getting them out because there's very little money. The share price is at the lowest it's been since they launched it, meaning right now they can't even sell more shares to make money. They've made £500 million selling shares out of the football club and reinvested, by the way, £0 of that. I want to ask Kaz first, as a Man United fan. Obviously, there's 2 or 3 consortiums being discussed looking at this. Of course, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has come out and said that he is willing to buy the club if it indeed comes up for sale. Like, what's your feeling around this? Are you trying to keep your feet on the ground? Are you getting excited about it? And what do you think the future holds for Man United should the takeover
go? Well, let me tell you now, I'll be the first one to buy out of that team when I see Team Ineos over the shirt coming across right there. So I'm going to be very excited for that sponsorship of the Billionaires Club, But no, I feel like I've heard there's 3 different consortiums. There's a Bahrain consortium of some sort. There's the New York Investment Fund as well, which I'm kind of worried about. And there's Jim Ratcliffe. And I feel like he's been waiting for this because I feel like he bought, if you go and research it, he didn't want to buy Manchester United and be inexperienced. So he went and bought Nice. And he's been doing that. He bought them 3 years ago, and he's keeping Nice obviously on their feet. They're a good team anyways, regardless. Hasn't needed to do much investing, but he's getting to know the grips of how the football world works. So it's good that he's getting some experience. And he said stuff back in 2019 about Fred and so forth on Manchester United itself. And then I feel like the bid with the Chelsea was never a serious one. He was just throwing out there that he's ready to buy a superpower of a team. And in my words, it's that he ain't coming for a fraction of Manchester United of whatever percentage they want to sell. I feel like Jim Ratcliffe will get the deal done in the end because he even said himself that it's time for a change and the city have spoken and it's time. It's enough now. And I feel like this whole thing that there's obviously other rumors that it's actually Man United's up for sale. Apparently it's been up for sale since May. It's just coming out now. And the whole timing of the Elon Musk thing has been perfect. And that's what's going to welcome some bidders as well. So that's why 3 consortiums have come out. And that, what's his name? Michael Knightson, never a serious guy. He was just putting out noise at the end of the day. But I feel like it will get done. I can't help but feel, it's maybe I'm getting giddy about it, but I feel like it will get done. I feel like the Glazers are actually broke. They actually need money. And I feel like they didn't. And then now there's a more report saying there's a mix in between. There's a mix in between the Glazer family that someone out and someone still want to stay in because it's a cash cow.
I mean, they're not broke. I want the 2 things I say about the Glazers: they're not broke and they're not stupid. They're really, really not. But did anyone think this is just noise? And in fact, the Glazers might now spend big between now and the end of the window. United fans will go back to buying shirts and the green and gold scarves will be put away. Do you think that, Hassam?
Yes, I really do think that. I think, a club like Man United, we've seen with the Chelsea takeover, taking over a whole club is much more difficult than people make it out. It's not just, offer the money and full stop and, it's going to be new owners. I think at this point in time, the Glazers have no reason to sell. The Glazers, except, of course, the fan pressure, unless like the sort of like the Man United fans elevate the pressure to the next level where they're like not attending games, the stuff that Terry's been talking about, not attending games, not buying merchandise, like literally just driving the stocks of Man United, really down. Or maybe like, as has been suggested by many United fans, never mind the rivals, if United do get relegated, maybe that would be a reason for them to sell. But if you're running a business and you're making that much money out of a business, you genuinely, all jokes aside, you have no reason to sell unless your business goes rogue. But if you're making that much money, when you look at how much revenue Man United are making each year, you have no reason to sell. That's just the truth. So I don't suspect it will happen unless a drastic thing happens, either with the fan base or with results on the pitch, as in United are so shit they get relegated, or United have 0 in attendance at Old Trafford or something crazy like that. Then yeah, of course it makes a difference. But as of today, no, I think nothing really will happen, because from the Glazers' perspective, there's no reason at this point in time to sell.
Well, they kind of do slightly. They have to, because they put a lot of money in Tampa Bay. We're winning the Super Bowls and stuff like that. The cash flow at Man United is dropping every single year, and it's going to get worse and worse. And this might get to a point where the value of the actual Manchester United gets so bad, especially with the whole fan situation, emptying stadiums, team viewer wanting out as well. It'll just get lost, and maybe it might be time. It might be the best time this year to cash in at, let's say, 5 billion. But next year, that 5 billion could be 4 billion, because it might get that bad. And a lot of sponsors will be like, okay, now this sponsorship deal had an agreement here. Now we're going to take off a little bit more because you didn't make Champions League again, so forth. But these are just all reports. Anyways, there's nothing concrete. I can't say. Terry, you probably know a lot more than me because you do a lot more extensive research. But
now would be the most perfect time to sell, in the sense of it's valued at $6 billion. It's never going to be worth more than that, unless Man United become very good on the football pitch again, start winning things again. Where all the companies that have contracts with us, sponsorships with us, will not be. Two of them have already stated publicly, will not be renewing for the same amount of money, because United are losing their pool. They're losing every year. They lose a new generation of fans to the successful clubs. So United are losing on and off the field. Now they're still making money out of the football club. Predominantly, they've made 500 million from Man United, where 80% of that has come from the selling of stocks. The stock is currently lower than the price they launched it for, the lowest it's ever been. Meaning if they sell now, they're just losing money. They can't make any more. The only way the Glazers stay for a more medium to long term is if Man United fans do the worst thing they can do, and that's continue to pump money into the football club and continue to keep sponsors coming in. I keep hearing people say that shirt sales don't make a difference. It's not an idiotic thing to say. It's just an uninformed thing to say. The Glazers made £186 million 2 days after Ronaldo signed.
How much?
£182 million they made. Because what happened is the share price was already doing okay at that point. Ronaldo signed and there was a surge. It was a £21 million surge in stock value in the space of 24 hours. The Glazers sold. Their profits on the level of stocks they sold were in the region. What they sold for 186 million, and they made 21 million pounds profit in the space of a day. That was because, yes, Ronaldo joined, the shirt sales went good, and people then invest in the football club. And I always say this to people as well, like, wearing the shirt is advertising the football club. You know, I had this it was a very successful sales technique for me. I spoke about it on this morning show. When I worked at Phones For You in Stratford, there used to be a market. If you've ever been Stratford, the old mall, not the big Westfield, there used to be a market stalls in the place. So we used to go and give all the market stalls our bags for free, so they didn't have to pay for bags from the suppliers. So everyone that was buying fruit, buying some bed sheets, buying a dog bone for their dog, they were all walking around with Phones For You bags. What did that look like in the shopping center? Well, Phones For You must be doing something good, because there's fucking hundreds of Phones For You shopping bags everywhere. We were raking it in. It was great. Got my manager a 26 grand bonus one month. I only paid my role 4 grand. In comparison, that was a bit of a rip-off. But I digress. They were advertising Phones For You for free. If you don't have your auntie bought you the shirt, you were gifted the shirt. you know, oh, I bought it from Sports Direct, not from Man United. You bowling around in that Man United shirt is advertising and marketing the sponsors. It's advertising and marketing the everything. People see it and go, we've all done it. We're going, oh, that looks right, you know. I might go and buy it. That's what advertising is. You've all done it with your clubs. You've seen someone wearing it and gone, oh, that tracksuit top actually looks really good. Arsenal fans are the best for it. Do you know what I mean? Like last season, every time they went on a bad run of games, they released an amazing piece of kit or a training kit. And everyone's like, oh, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. And that's all Man United fans have got to do now is pull their money away. And the Glazers, in my opinion, will sell because they're not stupid. And it's never going to be more valuable than it is now for me. I think it's maxed out. And listen, they're going to make, if they sell it now, they're going to make this deep. This is like one of the big, great. I don't know if there's been a better business deal in the history of humanity. They bought Man United for £0 and they can sell it for $6 billion. That's why when I hear people, and I'm not going to call out the content creators, I see them on Sky, and the Glazers must be idiots or something. I'm like, how can you call someone an idiot who bought a football club for nothing and is selling it for £6 billion? That for me is genius. I don't like them, but it's genius still, and I'm going to recognize it. But it's still a long way to go. There's been no formal bids as of now. There's a lot of talk at the moment, and that's what we just need to see next is someone come in and say, listen, there's an offer. Maybe they offer 4.5 bill to begin with and see what they say, but I hope it happens because these parasites have got to go. These parasites have got to go. Super chats. Not a United fan, but the people criticizing this is in the deal. Would you go into the season with McFred? Great signing. Going forward with McFred would be suicidal. Thank you very much. Nabil here says, yo, stop defending Man United. It's desperate signing. And Casemiro was hella shaky last season. Similar to Varane, Glazers out, mentality monsters, 10 men still win against United starting 11. I'm a Man United fan. It's a bad signing. We still get Lamar Tillemans, whatever that name is. Who's that meant to be? Okay, there we go. Keep Garner, get Neves, or I know that
you could not know Milinkovic Savic. You couldn't have said a worse free. Honestly, this guy, I'm sorry, my guy Jay, but your ball knowledge is absolutely shocking. Sorry,
what?
How can you keep?
No,
how can you?
Cass, you're lying
he says
now.
keep Garner, get Neves or Sergej Milinkovic Savic. Get out of here. I can understand Benessa, but Tielemans, who the hell's Lamar as well?
Thomas.
You was talking about
Lamar.
Conrad Lamar?
No, I wasn't. I don't rate
Tielemans.
Bro, go on my other videos, and I'll tell you now, Tielemans can't gasses out after 60 minutes. He does it every single game. He's not that good. He's good, but he's not that good. I don't want to keep him out away from the club. I'd rather use a youngster.
We're selling our youngsters. Terry, usually you can't shut up this morning. Sorry. Terry, usually you can't shut me up. This morning, my tongue and brain stopped working and I froze. My bad. Not as easy as it looks. Oh, bruv, this guy called in. He started chatting. Listen, I great sympathy with you. And then he just froze. I don't mean to laugh. I thought something went wrong, but I thought he was frozen and then his lip was moving. Call in again next time, my friend. No pressure on the terrace. I never call anybody out or do anything like that. But you were actually speaking sense as well, my friend. But yeah, call in again. Thank you. He has been the best CDM from 2015. He benched Fabinho in Brazil. A leader is what Man United need right now. Is what
he's a good signing, but benching players internationally is never the reason why he should buy someone. Owen Hargreaves.
No, sorry, Sam. Casemiro over Fabinho. Not because it's not just anything. It's just there in it. Let's not jump on that bandwagon.
Is Owen Hargreaves better than Paul Scholes?
Don't do this. No, Paul Scholes come out of the England squad due to his family reasons. So go do your research there, bro. Allow it. Fabinho got benched because Casemiro is better. I'm sorry. You can have Fabinho or Fred. Casemiro or Fred.
I don't care.
No, you're not. He's just better than Fabinho. He's just better than bro. Just take it. In the Prem, Fabinho's top notch, but in the world, Casemiro is better, bro.
I'll use Liverpool logic against them. Who's better in the Champions League, Liverpool or Man United?
Oh, we're just better overall.
Well, you're not. We've got more league titles than you, and they're harder to win. So there we go.
No, they're not. Don't open up a can of worms. League
titles are harder to win.
All I would say is I do not co-sign that, and we will move on for the sake of this show. But I do not co-sign that.
And what would happen in 20 years' time if Liverpool have more league titles than Man United, but we've got more Champions Leagues? You would change your mind and say league titles are harder.
Absolutely not.
It's like
Absolutely not. The Champions League is much more difficult.
Liverpool fans are the only fan base in the world that scream that the most amount of trophies make you the best ever. Until it comes to Gerrard, then trophies are irrelevant. It's just you guys are shameless.
There's a difference between comparing team and individual.
No, there isn't. It's all about
yes,
trophies.
there is.
I disagree. There's not a player in the NBA or the NFL that's considered like a GOAT or a top one of the greatest ever players that hasn't won the main shit.
The NBA is different than football. Don't even try.
It's sports.
One individual can make a massive difference than in football.
No.
Yes.
No, absolutely right. I know all about netball, and that's not true. It elevates United short term, but the overall transfer strategy doesn't make sense. Ownership aside, the only way to fix this is to get someone of Jose contact. We had Jose, bruv. We had Jose Mourinho, and it didn't work. It didn't work. Thank you for the super chat. Age was a number for Liechtensteiner. 30 plus is 100% risk. It is funny though. Like a lot of United's early signings remind me of like early signings when Arsenal kind of moved on from Arsene Wenger, which is why the Arsenal banter is always strange to me, because Arsenal were talking like the good work they've done in the last 12 months is what they started by doing. It's just, I just find it interesting. Not so much you shouldn't banter, but more like one Gooner, me and one Gooner were like on the side of each other. We were like, there's all these Arsenal fans the other day going, why don't Man United start their rebuild the way we did by replacing Leno with Ramsdale? I'm like, but you didn't start the rebuild by doing that. You started the rebuild buying Willian. Like, I love how people like change history. It's so fun.
Arsenal always catch strays. That's the crazy part.
No, I'm not catching strays. It was just like, if you're going to compare Ten Hag's rebuild.
No, not you, Arsenal. I'm saying Arsenal always catch strays on these things.
Yeah, but that's
whenever we're talking transfers, it's always Arsenal.
Yeah, but it's not about Arsenal catching strays. Like, if you're going to compare like Man United's rebuild now versus Arteta, you've got to do it on a timescale that's even. It's a bit. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't do like what Arteta did 2.5 years in compared to what our manager's doing 6 weeks in. It's kind of weird to me, anyway.
Yeah.
250 million cash plus an estimated 500 million loan. That greedy bunch better take 5 billion and run before Man United fans run them out with pitchforks. No violence at these protests, please. Terry, question: what happens to the loan amount if a full takeover is done? So what you'll find will happen, let's just say 6 billion euros to buy the club. You would probably find that 6 billion, dollars would probably include debt repayment. It would probably include paying everybody back for the value of their shares that they hold, because I would imagine the new owners would take us off of the stock market. There's no need to be on the stock market unless we're using any profits from that to reinvest into the football club. Of course, debt's being paid off. There'll be an element of that money that will be invested into the infrastructure, stadiums, training grounds, so on and so forth. So not all of it will go directly to the Glazers, is what I would assume. That's typically what happens when you buy a business. You adjust the asking price based on debts that are there, etc. But I very much doubt they're going to buy. I mean, by the way, if the new owners buy it and they keep the debt and they just pay it the same way, then we're in the same boat we started. If I'm being honest with you, that would stuck. The protest will continue. The Super League is the only way United value increases further. If I'm the Glazers, I would be the only hope for me. Yeah, but I don't think the Super League's happening with the English team. They saw what happened last time. Official statement.
And that's not true either. United, if they start winning, their value increases as well. So it has nothing to do with Super League.
Don't get rid of that super chat. You done start it. I was going to take it off and do it later when it's more relevant. It's more relevant. I'm going to take that one down. Can you restart that one for me, please, KJ? And we'll put it back up in a bit. Thank you. Real Madrid replaced him with Tchouaméni and wages off the books. Target Jude next and can offer 200k. Real Madrid took Liverpool's number 1 this year and will take it next year as well. There, they could do that. Another signing just for money. You never learn. I think a lot of people agree with that take here, for in terms of what Man United are doing. Away from Man United for a bit, though, people. Chelsea looking like they're going to spend big for Fana. I know that Brendan Rodgers has said there's been no transfer request. When you agree personal terms with another football club, it's a fucking transfer request, mate. We don't need the official words. Like, you don't do that unless you want to leave. If a guy agrees to meet with another woman behind his girlfriend's back, he's already cheated. Like, it's happened. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't got to have
don't say that.
That's necessarily true. That ain't cheating.
You're scoring own goals there.
Oh, because I don't do that, bruv.
Same, me neither, but I don't think that's cheating.
I've got very, very strict rules.
I'm not trying to bring out my guys.
Nah, listen. Look, listen, ladies, if your boyfriend puts his phone down, facing down, he's a cheater. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, Kenny, why are you making all these rules up? He ain't no cheater. He ain't no cheater.
If your boyfriend wears another club's football shirt, he will also cheat on you. Okay.
I agree with that.
No
now,
loyalty.
this is the first correct statement.
What about women that do that as well? AK Colleen with the
I'm saying this. I'm a man, so I'm only speaking on man things. That is the safe space for me. I'm speaking up. I am not commenting about what goes on in the inner workings of a woman's brain. I do not have the bank balance to be cancelled. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Terry simping hard. I ain't simping. I'm having a laugh, bro. Red card, Terry. Why is it red card? Listen, if you go home, if you are cheating, put your phone the right way up. Just turn notifications off your phone. It's easy. Like,
I think the whole. Let's move on.
She don't need to be all up in your business.
Other way, if you're a content creator and you have notifications on, you're slacking. Always notifications off. You want no noise in the background. But anyway, we digress. Chelsea, you're looking like you're going to spend big. Aubameyang, Fofana, man like 50 million Gordon. What are you saying, David? Are you excited about these deals?
I'm going to shock everyone. I really like Anthony Gordon. I really do. If we could spend 45 mil on Anthony Gordon, I'll take him 100%.
I'm with you on that one.
I think he's class. Like every time I've watched Anthony Gordon, I've been so impressed because he's always having to drive the ball from so deep, and he actually does it quite well. And when you look at what we were trying to do with, like, I'm not, okay, before anyone jumps on me, I'm not saying he's as good as Rafinha, but clearly clearly Tuchel wants somebody who has the ability to dribble and get past players, and Anthony Gordon does that very well.
Let me tell you.
Hold on, before you jump in, Aubameyang, I can see why. Short term, as long as it's not, too expensive in a long-term contract, I'm fine with that. Fofana, good player, a bit too expensive for me, but it's not my money, so I'm not too fast.
So when Reece James ends up getting swapped for De Jong, then Anthony Gordon right wing back?
Reece James is not getting swapped for De Jong.
What
Reece James is the best. Reece James is the best right back in the world, mate. Simple. He's the best right back in the world.
I like Anthony. I like Gordon as well. He's good.
David, this is, we've had many encounters on that stuff. This is hands down your worst ever performance. This is your worst ever performance. You just said Anthony Gordon is class. Are you okay, brother? 40 million for Anthony Gordon. Is that
every single time I have watched Anthony Gordon,
did your hair, I
has
didn't affect your brain. That's
every
all I'm saying.
Every single time I've watched him, I've been impressed.
Husam, you was here earlier when we heard Morgan Gibbs-White has gone for 45 million. He's only a year older and he plays for Wolves. Why would Gordon, Everton, especially looking at the deal, not go for that price?
No, but I'm not talking about Everton.
He's literally Everton's most creative player. He's probably been their best player over the past season. I do think that there's some questions to ask about him in the final third. He doesn't score a lot of goals. He doesn't get a lot of assists. But what David has just said is correct. Gordon, when he plays for Everton, he's the one man dragging them up the pitch. He takes players on. His pressing, very similar to Jesus, is intense. And you even saw when he played against Chelsea at the start of the season, he was doing a one-man press and he went in and ended up winning the ball. Like, this guy can bring a lot to Chelsea's team. The price is obviously a bit much, but you have to take into consideration at least 15 to 20 mil of that is English tax. It's just...
George, I ain't talking about the price, though. I didn't mention the price. I'm talking player quality. I don't think this is David. This is David's burner or something. Is this actually you on the terrace?
No, it's me.
You really like Gordon.
I really
want to be angry all the time.
Every single time you watch Anthony Gordon, you can't help but be impressed. I'm sorry. Look at what he's performing.
Yes, I can. I've never been impressed.
Look what's around him. Look what is around him. And look at what he's having to do.
I thought someone like Pedro Neto might be better for Chelsea. Pedro Neto for Chelsea would probably be better.
Said, look what's around him. Wow.
Look what's around him, bro.
It doesn't matter what's around him. He ain't good enough.
No,
you guys are.
I'm going to say one name. I'm going to say one name to you, and this was said when you guys signed a player for £45 million. When you signed Jota, everyone went, "How much?" He doesn't score. He moved from Wolves to Liverpool, and he's been sensational.
Terry, why do you love to draw
yes.
Why do you love to draw false parallels? Jota
how is that a false parallel? Sorry, yeah.
I'm about to explain to you. Jota was at least an average/okay Premier League player. And he came up to a team and he just started scoring more goals. It's not like Jota now has become Ronaldinho. He's a good player. That's it. Let's not exaggerate what Jota is. When it comes to Gordon is not even an okay player. Gordon is actually terrible. And I don't know.
You're smoking lines.
1 second.
Wow.
Uno momento, por favor. 1 second, brother. Listen to me. I ain't talking about price tag. I ain't talking about none of that shit. Gibbs White went for 40 million, whatever. Everton asked for some money. I don't care. The statement that David made and George made, every time I watch him, I'm impressed. Impressed by what? What are you watching? This guy got more yellow cards for diving than anything else. There is nothing impressive about him. I swear to God, there actually is nothing impressive. Like, I don't even put him in the average category. He's
Husam, do you not take into consideration the team he's playing for one, the manager he's under, Lampard, which we all know doesn't tactically poor. He's a very bad tactical manager, so he's not going to create the team to work around Gordon. He's literally just an individual working on his own mind and just trying to play naturally as a young player would. For me, and what David's seen is correct. He literally is the only spark in that Everton team at times, especially since Richarlison's gone. Iwobi doesn't step up enough. Gordon's 21. He just turned 21.
I hope Chelsea sign him. Just if this guy David comes back 2 months later and starts saying, "Oh, Gordon didn't perform today."
You know what though? Like the market really dictates a lot of this because there's not a lot of once Rafinha went, like the options beyond that have become a little bit scarce. So I can see, Chelsea are looking for an attacker. I can't see Anthony Gordon doing any worse than Pulisic, or Ziyech. I can see him doing a better job than that. And the market is really dictating this. I don't think he's worth anywhere near the price tag or what Chelsea are willing to purchase him for. But there's not a lot of options out there. Like you really can't be out here seeing like there's really nothing. It's scarce. So yeah, like I can see what Chelsea are trying to do.
Is Anthony Gordon that much worse than Harvey Elliott?
He's better than he'd easily back up.
I've had a really tough 2 weeks. I ain't ready for
starts for you. And he starts for you. And he starts for you.
How much would you guys pay for like a Harvey Barnes?
No,
he was kind of like
Harvey Barnes.
I was thinking of the same name, but he's 24 though.
Harvey Barnes will get sold for 60-65 mil.
Yeah.
The way the market is, he would.
Yeah.
The market's got to be. I mean, and Liverpool are partly responsible for this. You made Bournemouth pay 25 million for Jordan Ibe. Like. This is the thing when the price is.
So it's my fault, not your fault for buying Pogba for 89 million and starting this whole.
Or selling Coutinho for 140 million.
I'm being a little bit facetious with the facts, but I'm just stating that like it's the market prices, and we spoke about this earlier on in the summer. We'd already be beyond these prices if the pandemic hadn't have happened. And in 4 or 5 years' time, we're going to probably look back at these current prices and go, oh, God, do you remember when you used to be able to pick up these good up-and-coming players for 50 million? Because look at the new TV deal money the American broadcasters are just given to the Prem. It means every Premier League club has about £40 million extra a year coming in. So what are they going to do? They're going to ask for that from each other. It's because clubs are not in the same financial need to sell anymore. So they whack a big asking price on these players. And Gibbs White is a prime example. 44 million for him. That just means any half-decent player that's also, again, if you're Everton and Chelsea want your player, why would you not put a premium on? One thing that I'm always very impressed with Liverpool is how you still manage to get prices quite cheaply. Like with your whole Moneyball thing and the way you guys brag about it, even if you only valued your player at your club at 20 million and Klopp wanted him, I'd triple the money because Klopp wants him. Like just for the sake of it. And that's what happens. But I think Gordon's good, by the way. But what about Aubameyang, Jess? I haven't really asked you about this. You guys got rid of him, bad attitude, wasn't scoring. Do you think, you guys are being tipped by a number of quite a lot of gooners and by me to come in third? Do you feel like with signings like Gordon, signings like Fofana, and namely Aubameyang coming back to Chelsea, do you think that's going to make them title contenders, top 4 guaranteed? Are you worried? Are you worried about it as an Arsenal fan about them bringing him back?
I think Aubameyang would be a good signing for them, to be honest, because like Kai Havertz, the chances that he missed against Spurs, I think Aubameyang puts those away. He's 100% probably one of the best poachers, or has been over like the last 5 years. And so that's his bread and butter. If you can get the ball in the box, he's going to put them away. And he's not like finished. Like Aubameyang's one of those types, as long as he's happy, he plays really well. It's mental with Aubameyang. Like I still think like in some games, he may get boxed out by bigger center backs and things like that. But ultimately, like he's going to kill everybody from 10 down, if he's getting those chances. So, yeah, I think it's a good signing for them. I don't think Fofana, for me, is the one that would move the needle. It's making sure that they have a finisher and making sure that they have another midfielder. I think those are kind of more the positions than the center backs. And we just have to see how it all clicks. You know, with Chelsea, they always are kind of like right in between the top 2 and the 4, you know, or the teams that are trying to fight for top 4. So if they don't get the midfielder, I still kind of feel like, yeah, you're going to probably be scrapping with the rest of us. But if they were able to pull off all of those and it all clicks together, then yeah, I think they could probably push. But I still have this weird feeling that the top 2 are just a little bit further away in terms of like doing it for a long period of time with the same manager. They know the system, like they got it going on. But you know, it would push them, I think, a little bit away from the trailing pack. So yeah, Chelsea need these signings, but none of them, like Aubameyang is, I think the weird thing about it is like, I don't agree that he'll flop like at Chelsea. I don't think he'll flop. I think, again, as long as he's happy and he's getting chances, he'll put them away. And that's something that Chelsea fans should really be excited about. He went straight to Barcelona and scored some goals, you know, so yeah, it's one of those where it'll be interesting to see.
He's guaranteed to score against Arsenal. It just is a guarantee. You just know it.
Nah, you know what?
The way football is, you know it's a guarantee.
Well, Jess, don't you see this, yeah? Just really quickly. At Arsenal, for his last, year or two, the one problem that plagued him, and one thing Arsenal fans said, is people don't create chances for him. If he doesn't have chances created for him, he just simply doesn't score goals. He drifts out of games, and you just don't see a lot of him. Chelsea,
well, that's what I said.
Is the one problem.
They have to
that's the one problem that will be for Chelsea, is that their team, their attack has from. You can see against Tottenham, Cass, they didn't create much chances.
No, it's not that. Keep going your point. Finish your point. One sec. Finish your point.
David, against Tottenham, you had 1 or 2 clear chances. Apart from that, they were all shots from the edge of the box.
Did Chelsea dominate play, or did they create
everything?
A lot of chances?
They dominated chance. They dominated play. They didn't create chances. I was never at one point. I never at one point thought this is a team that's dangerous and a team that's going to score 2 or 3 goals. Even when we sat back and didn't create nothing, because Chelsea's attack just isn't fluid. They're unable to work together to create good chances and create a high volume of chances. And for me, that's the one thing that when I see Aubameyang coming there, I see no difference than to his last few years at Arsenal.
Well, the only difference, the only thing that I'll say is I think you do make like a really good point. But with Aubameyang, Reece James, if he can get those crosses into the box, he's going to eat. It's just a matter of how much Tuchel will rely upon him in build-up play, linking up play, doing things like that. He's not going to help you there. That's one of the things that he really struggles with. And then it's whether or not your wing forwards can create enough chances. And that's up to Raheem Sterling and whoever else you have. But again, like if Reece James, that ball that he put into Kai Havertz, Aubameyang eats that every day. That's bread and butter, meat and potatoes.
Then against Olympiacos. But we forget about, we want to talk about age as well, though. Yeah, we forget about one thing as well, yeah. The man is 33 years old, so we love to play this age game. Let's play an age game. 33 years old. I do wonder what deal is going to come out of that. But I do agree with Jesse. Realistically, he does eat that chance every day. Actually, he probably gets there a lot quicker as well with a lot more space than Shai Havertz, shall I say. I don't really rate Kai Havertz. But also, I think we're underrating Tuchel a little bit, right? Because last season, he didn't have one of his wing-backs. Do you know what I mean? He had to play Aspilicueta there at times as well.
How many games?
No, but it was Chilwell for like the whole season, bro.
No, but at right back, Reece James played 26.
Yeah, he came, but you can't relax. But everyone sussed up from the right wing back situation. Now they got Reece James is back fit. They'll probably get another cover there. They got Cucurella and Chilwell to fight out for that position. There's creativity. They're looking at a centre mid, and people forget one thing. Yeah, if they get Anthony Gordon, guy that drives, he's gonna drive into the box. He will put crosses in, and we forget one thing. Sterling plays way better with an actual number 9. So Sterling's reliability in going in to do everything in attack, his output goes way up for me. And tactically, I feel like he would bang for Chelsea. I can't lie, but I just do wonder, because we're going to do this thing now. I wonder how big the deal will be, because if people want to do this for Casemiro, I'll bring in the same energy as well, as long as everything else. Because if he gets a 3-year deal, I'm on to you.
Left out though, that you're getting like in your feelings about the Casemiro thing, because we were talking about the age. The difference is the circumstance that Manchester United are in and the situation that Chelsea are in. They have young players, they have a system, they have a good manager. They have things already going on. The reason why Manchester United and Casemiro seems different is because you guys have been doing that.
Yeah, but one thing we don't have is a number 6. So they have a number 9, which they destroy typically all the time. But when we bring in a DM, something that we haven't had in since Michael Carrick, 2015, 16, when he started perishing, whenever he did actually go, to be fair.
Casemiro's not a good player.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. But something he feels a massive void. Like Aubameyang feels a massive void for Chelsea of actual number 9 that's known to score goals. But same thing with Casemiro, he brings a whole new dynamic for me. And call it giddy or not, I get it. Like we can always go off history in the last decade that it's been shocking, but that is a position that we haven't addressed since we got Matic as well. Like at the time, he played he was good for about a year. He was good for about a year and a half or something like that. But this guy, Casemiro, don't get injured typically a lot. His legs ain't going to go anytime soon. He's athletic. He's strong. Something Man United don't have. But I do get where you're coming from. Obviously, this is me and just talking on pure hope as a Manchester United fan. Hopefully, it does go right because our midfield stinks. We stink.
You know, just interesting about what you say there, Kaz. Listen, I'm worried about this deal purely on a financial level and the guy's dedication to the club. When Man United were linked at the beginning of the summer via Gerard Romero, the whole 95% Man United, I'm not calling Jess out on this, but there was a lot of Arsenal fans that kind of came at me, but he isn't the right kind of midfielder you need. You need an out-and-out DM, not someone like De Jong. United are now getting a DM. Forget the money side of it. There are people like, no, not the guy. Like people are now saying, well, how can you go from a profile of De Jong to a profile of Casemiro? And that's a fair criticism of the manager, say. But surely as rival fans that were saying that De Jong was the wrong type of profile for us, you should now be saying, oh, well, United at least signing the right type of player for them. That's where I get where Kaz is coming from. I feel it's almost like we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. If we sign a player that everyone says you need, there's always actually you need someone else now. It is kind of strange. To be fair.
Do need another centre mid. We need another centre mid on top of Casemiro, by the way. A low centre gravity type of player like a Modric, because otherwise, when you think of our midfielders as a total,
I mean, you basically need Real Madrid's midfield to make this work, and you're not going to get that. And
Casemiro, he's not finished though. It was Kroos finished. Like he's the finished player. Every time he came off, they started playing ball with Camavinga.
The thing about it though is like I personally like, and I don't know if that's what if Terry remembers, like I never really said that like I thought De Jong was the wrong, because we don't know what Ten Hag wants. Nobody really knows what Ten Hag wants at this point. But Casemiro's a really good player. It's not about the quality of the player. I don't think anybody is out here saying he's dead, he's finished, he's this and that. It's just a matter of like the money and doing the same things over and over. And like you said, you still need to bring in another midfielder. So you'll see what kind of that was. But I also did see a lot of Manchester United fans also like they were really mad about the Rabiot deal. And then when it looked like it was getting closer, they started to talk themselves into why this is the right thing. It's good. It's not that bad. And I think sometimes your initial reaction to things is probably right. I do think the initial reaction from Manchester United fans was this doesn't feel right, but you can also look at positives and say like this guy walks straight into your team and breaks up Scott McTominay and Fred, and you guys can do your thing.
And I get that. And that's why I said not you at the beginning. It's again, I'm not. If someone's saying, "Oh," most of you guys have said it. I'm talking outside of this panel. The reaction from people that have been slagging the De Jong deal off because we needed a player like Casemiro should be, I'm not sure about the price and the wages, but it's absolutely what Man United need. That isn't what's being said. I'm looking at, I go straight back. I do it on purpose. I go straight to the profiles of people that make big statements about my club to check what they say when we change direction. And they change, honestly, like these guys have got so many faces. It's unbelievable. Like their girlfriends need to be checking their emails because they should be worried. These guys lie a lot. And anyone says I'm baiting men up. Well, if you're doing nothing wrong, you've got nothing to bait. You've got nothing to be worried about.
So how much? All right, realistically, for anyone here in the panel, the comments, or anything, like I just to know how much is a good wage for somebody like Casemiro. Then, if he does come, if it's not, we don't know where it's going to be.
No offense,
how much?
Kaz. No offense, Kaz. Why are you so butthurt about it? Like,
no.
I agree. Like, so just him and Terry.
I'm not butthurt, bro. I'm not butthurt, bro, because it's alright.
Okay, we bantered United more. Congratulations.
No. It's not about. I want to know what good wages then. But you don't always go off the wages, so that's what we're gonna do right now, bro. It's energy.
Wages is always what you guys are
Man
talking
United
about.
are the biggest, second biggest club in the country. They're gonna get bantered. You know, the two biggest clubs in the country get bantered the most. Simple as that. Every time Darwin Núñez has a bad touch, there's a compilation on Twitter. You don't see me complaining. Let it happen. Doesn't matter. You and Terry are so
complaining.
Who cares?
Who cares? You're not complaining. Who's Sam? You not complaining about anything, bro? Where was you? Yeah, when you went off, did you do a space the next day?
I never said I'm not complaining.
Oh,
I'm not, I said I'm not complaining about the compilations and the banter.
Energy, bro.
Let the people know. Let the people banter.
Energy,
Who
bro.
cares?
Look, Cats,
You
look,
banter
Cats, see it
me.
this way, yeah. See
No
it
one
this way.
cares.
With this deal, at the end of the day, you're paying about 3 or 4 other players the same money, if not more, than what Casemiro's making.
De Gea.
So really and truly, we don't care that much. We're gonna continue to banter your club because your club just runs this way. He's a good player. It's a good signing, but the financials we're always going to laugh at because your club never get the financials right. It's just as simple as that.
No, you're right. You're right. But I was just asking a genuine question: how much is a good wage then? But that's it.
And remember, listen, the banter's a banter, but all you do with the banter is what you got to do sometimes. What I do, I get annoyed sometimes as well, but you just hold on to it, and you wait for the right moment because Dom Hussam is one of the worst at this. He tries to win every battle. But when someone tries to win every battle, they eventually tie themselves up in knot, and then you win the war always. It's one of those ones that you can always drop the bomb later on down the line.
I win every battle and every war, Terry. Don't start.
That's not true.
Don't start.
In
that
your
is
head,
absolutely true.
In your head, you do, but you're just talking to yourself, bro. You're like, have you seen
if I don't back me, who's gonna back me? I have
exactly.
To back
I just want to point this out. Somebody just sent me this stat through about Chelsea. This is against all Premier League teams, I believe, since Thomas Tuchel arrived. 6th amount of goals. But the second most shots, first most shots on chances. No team in the Premier has created more chances than Chelsea. Shot conversion is very, very low. Chelsea's problem since Thomas Tuchel arrived hasn't been the creation of chances. It's actually been putting them into the back of the net. So literally, like you can see, no club has been more creative and created more shots than Chelsea since Tuchel arrived. It's literally the conversion that's holding Chelsea back. Like that's a crazy stat when you actually break it down.
I don't know.
Wait. Hold on. I was going to say, literally, how have you watched that Spurs game and thought, oh, yeah, they didn't even create that many chances? Half the chances that we didn't create. No, hold on. The chances we don't create, like half of them are just our players being in wrong positions and not doing the most obvious thing.
So it never happened.
When Sterling got to the byline, crossed it in, Mason Mount was at the back post and he checked back for some reason. If he just stays there, it's a tap in. Right, we have so many of those times during games where our players will get in very promising positions, but our forwards just don't have like the instinct to be in the right position, as well as they don't have the instinct to finish the chance anyway. So my point is that if you get in the right person in the middle, they're gonna finish those chances.
But David,
they're gonna improve everybody else.
That's the first game in a while.
That your forwards
don't
know what positions to be in. If they don't know what positions to be in. If they don't know
because it's the first time I've watched Chelsea in a while and I didn't fall asleep was the Spurs.
That's because you walk around with this narrative of you're really, really boring.
It ain't a narrative.
But you are.
It's not a narrative. Chelsea fans have told me that they fall asleep watching their own club, so it ain't.
And that's because those fans just bend over and just want to be like, oh yeah, I really think my team's boring.
So who's the one who's butthurt now then?
No one's bending.
I am butthurt about this because half of our fans.
David, you know you're worse. You're more butthurt than Cass.
Can I just say one thing about chance creation stats? Is that you can create a lot of chances, but they can be low quality chances as well. And one time when I looked at like Chelsea stats, is that you guys do create a lot of chances, but a lot of times they're not high percentage chances. So that might be the little glitch there. But again, Aubameyang is gonna eat. Like he's gonna be fine. Like he's gonna score a lot of goals.
Our XG is far lower. But they're not, again, my fans annoy me because half of them are lying. Any Chelsea fan that tells you they like Tuchel, they're lying to you. Okay, I can see it in their eyes. As soon as there's a draw, but halfway before the season, we're coming 5th. How are we coming 5th with the 3rd best manager in the league? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It don't make sense. We have
First of all, you're gonna stop that right there.
He ain't the 3rd best manager in the league.
How is he not? He is not the 3rd best manager in the league. The 3rd best manager in the league is Antonio Conte. So
let's bring that back. Let's bring that back.
If I'm being honest, I think Conte is a better manager than Klopp in the league.
Let's get something straight. If you have not got a league title in the top league, don't start comparing him to the top managers in the world. What league?
He does. The French league.
Oh my God.
Pochettino won that league.
Pochettino
won that league.
And Spurs fans call him world class. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm not
I think if you put some Chelsea fans in a room and they could do an anonymous survey on whether they'd want Conte back potentially or Tuchel, a lot of them would put Conte into that little
And
box and walk out.
No, Jess, I agree with you. But those fans don't want Tuchel. They're sat there saying, "Oh, I really like Tuchel, and I hope he stays." They're lying to you. They're lying to you. I would say names, but they're lying to you. I'm telling you, they don't want it there.
I'll be
why
real.
are you so
Yeah.
triggered? Why are you so rattled?
Because I love Tuchel so
Conte,
much. You know?
I get it, but Conte is a better manager, brother.
No, he's not.
Don't
No,
do
he's
Conte's
this.
better. Hey, if we're deep in it,
David,
if we're deep in
one
it, yeah.
second.
I'll go
The
on.
best, one sec, please. The best manager in the league is Pep. Let's put that to the side.
Yes,
Second manager's Klopp. Let's put that to the
No,
side.
he's not. No, he's not.
Third,
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Third, 1 second. Third between Conte and Tuchel. Now, when you look at Tuchel, yes, he's won the Champions League. But if we're actually gonna look at it, one second. If we're actually gonna look at it properly, Conte won the league with Chelsea and won the league with Inter. Now, if you want to apply the same logic to the Juve thing and the PSG thing, I got no problem. But at least Conte's won 2 league titles, not one, in 2 different countries with 2 teams that are not expected to win it.
Hussam, you've told me that the Champions League is harder to win than the league. So what's going on? What's going on?
If you've done it once rather than doing it twice,
tell me what's going on.
No, it ain't no.
Do you see what I said to you guys earlier? When you try and win all the little battles, you end up screwing yourself over. Dem Hassam twice on one show.
Can I respond though?
No, you've been done.
I will win this war right now, but let me respond.
Done.
David, you know, I'm keeping my logic consistent. Klopp versus Conte. Why is Klopp better than Conte? Klopp's won the Champions League and multiple league titles. Three league. 1 second, brother. 3 league titles. 3. 2 of them with Dortmund. Please name me the league champions in Germany as soon as Klopp left. Bayern. So 1 sec, Terry, don't do this, because see, I'm ruining this argument right here. When it comes to Conte and Tuchel, when you look at Tuchel,
can we go back?
When you look,
wait. Can we go back? Did Thomas Tuchel have the same level of player, peak Hummels, peak Lewandowski? Did he have the same quality of players at Dortmund as Jurgen Klopp did? Because I'll give you an example.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did arguably better as well.
No, he
Hang on, guys. That's the important part here. Like, you can't be comparing and saying, well, my manager won this at a club and your manager won that. Well, what was the state of the club? Because by the time Jurgen Klopp left, that man was in a relegation battle with that team. That's how poor
he wasn't. He finished in the top 6.
Okay. Let me finish, please. The point is, Jurgen Klopp fell away with that team because the quality got gutted out of it. So how can you? He didn't take over the title-winning team with all the same players in it. So why are you comparing it?
Okay, great question. When Klopp first took over Dortmund, they were 30th. When Tuchel first took over Dortmund, they were 7th and had better players and were in a better state than when Klopp took over. 1 sec. Then when Klopp took over, Klopp won back. David, 1 second. Klopp won back-to-back Bundesliga titles. Back-to-back. With that Dortmund. Can I finish, brother? Can I finish?
No, you cannot, because you're
I get it. You have Tuchel posters.
No, how many Lewandowskis are there? The point is,
let me speak.
No.
Let me speak. 1 second.
No, sorry, Hassam, you're being disingenuous.
I'm not being disingenuous. You haven't even heard my point.
The point you're making, right, doesn't hold water without even making it, because there's almost no way you could recreate that team that Jurgen Klopp did. Plus, go back and look at the state of Bayern Munich in that little period. They weren't at their peak level. They weren't out there with one of the strongest teams in Europe. Like, you have to put that context on things.
They won the treble.
When?
With Jupp Heynckes. They won the treble.
When?
With Jupp Heynckes against Klopp.
What year?
2013. They won the treble.
2013, yeah, 2013.
And 2012, they got to the Champions League final, lost to Chelsea.
So that was after Klopp won his titles?
Yes.
No, that was just 1 year after. That wasn't after like 3-4 years after. That was 1 year after.
What you're telling me is a team can't improve dramatically over the space of a year or two.
You're not, Terry, you're doing this on purpose now.
At the end of the day,
Dortmund won 2 league titles with Jurgen Klopp. Tuchel did not win a single Bundesliga title in Germany. And that Bayern team that you're saying wasn't that strong. Got to a Champions League final against Chelsea in 2012, won the Champions League in 2013 and the treble. So they were very strong. It's not like they were weak. When it comes to Tuchel, 1 second. When it comes to Tuchel and Conte, the reason why the conversation is different is 3 league titles for Klopp, 1 Champions League. For me, puts him above Conte. However, the Conte and Tuchel thing, Tuchel has not won any league title of importance anywhere. That's just the fact. Because PSG, Pochettino, me, you, Laurent Blanc, the guy who eats lollipops on the thing, he won the league title with PSG. It's not that special. You could take the biggest loser on earth, and he'd win the Premier League with PSG, the league title.
So German Cup winner is not any cup worth mentioning. Then according to you, so on that note, then
Klopp won the German Cup as well. And Tuchel though,
no, but please,
I'm sorry.
Can I jump in here? Considering that I pretty much watch Dortmund every week, right? Can I jump in here? Because Sam is lying to the people. He's lying, right? In Klopp's seasons, Lewandowski was a top scorer. Then Lewandowski got sold to Bayern Munich, right? He left. He's gone, right? And then we replaced him with Aubameyang. Aubameyang is good, right? Don't get it twisted. He's good. Is he level of Lewandowski? No, he's going against the direct rival. He literally, if you have a good player, Hummels was the club captain, and he left and he went to go and play for Bayern Munich, and you're just sat here like, well, he should go win the league anyway because Klopp did. Are you mental, bro?
It's like if Liverpool lost Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk to Manchester City, there's no way Liverpool fans would sit there and go, yeah, well, we should still be winning the league now. Like, it's crazy talk. It's a nonsense talk.
And also, when I compare Conte and when I compare Tuchel,
I never said that. You guys
so you guys just think you should win the if Van Dijk and Mo Salah, heaven forbid, get a major injury tomorrow and can't play the rest of the season, you're just as confident about how good a season you're going to have.
First of all, you're speaking to the wrong guy because I'm not confident to begin with.
You're not confident that you're going to come fifth or anything. You still think you're up there. You're going to be a competitive.
I think we're finishing second, but the thing is, look, we're being intellectually dishonest here.
No, we're not. You are.
Because Lewandowski, the player that you're talking about, it's almost like you're describing 2019 Lewandowski. They bought Lewandowski from Lech Poznan. Klopp made Lewandowski into the player that he is.
Lewandowski has been one of the best strikers in the world for a decade. That's why he's Lewandowski. Like, come on now. What I will say is this, though. What I do find interesting is, before we move this on, is that I've sat on it before and said that the French league isn't very good, and I get cooked for it. But when it comes to Tuchel's leagues not meaning anything, suddenly the league is crap. Equally, on this same show, I've had people tell me the Bundesliga tax exists and it isn't that strong a league. But when it comes to Jurgen Klopp's titles, or it comes to Lewandowski's goals, suddenly you have to take Germany seriously. I love the ebb and the flow. It's unbelievable. We've got lots of super chats to do before we move on to previewing some games coming up, people. One thing I did want to read out, official statement. Mike Dean has just said that he made the wrong decision and he should have asked Taylor removed. I don't get that.
Romero to be removed.
Romero. I know the
I think he meant Anthony Taylor from VAR.
Decision on the thing, basically.
Yeah, I get that, guys. I mean, I'll get through this super chat. So, United fan on the top right. I know previous chat player I mentioned are at least play for a team instead of money grabbing. We got full squad of money grabbers, is what Jay says there.
Appreciate the super chat.
Mate rates Elliott, but not Gordon. Bias FC is what Blaze says. This United fan just strong and wrong. Where has this chest come from? Need a brown paper bag, mate. United dangle a carrot, Casemiro, and all is well again. By the way, there has just been a report come out from Romero's camp that he's not leaving for money. It is for football reasons. Like, the thing is, though, do you know what's really funny? I've been called out by all of your fan bases when I call them out for listening to PR. And then you just get the same responses to every by the way, for every transfer story, for every single football club. I'm surprised we even listen to our club tier ones anymore. It's unbelievable. Hassam, this guy who lives in a house of glass right now, Liverpool problems, is going around throwing stones at other people's houses. We're going to get onto Liverpool very soon. Please leave that.
Famous words of Jess, even if you support Leyton Orient, you can still talk about any club you want.
I know. Gordon is South Dan James. He is average. Gordon isn't terrible, but there is a way better options like Neto or Elise. Gordon had worse stats than Pulisic, another glorified road runner, in my opinion. Zane here says Terry wants to say KJ is a cheater for wearing other football club shirts. Chelsea are the English version of Atletico. No attacking players can excel there.
Even Hazard.
If Chelsea had an Aubameyang or a Ronaldo, Chelsea would have won 4-0.
Hazard is an attacking player.
If it wasn't for Anthony Taylor, Spurs would have been humiliated. Mentality didn't change. It was gifted to Spurs on a golden plate, is what Julius believes. Aubameyang will struggle in big games against Liverpool and City, is what Abdullahi says here. Is that said it right? Abdullahi says. I think a lot of Arsenal fans would agree with you on that. Sorry to disagree with this Chelsea myth, don't create chances. They had the third most chances created in the league last season, 10 more than Leicester, and were 16th for goals scored. Great show, Terry. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate the super chat. We've got loads more here. Julius says Chelsea was supposed to be dominated and destroyed by a superior Spurs squad and a better manager in Conte. People choose to ignore the facts to fit their delusions. Chelsea were robbed and nothing about Spurs was positive.
Everyone's been saying Spurs are going to finish third.
No one said superior.
George, you said they're going to win the league, mate. What are you talking about?
When have I said that?
What are you talking about?
Wait.
You did say it on the
actually
you said it on
I
the show.
never said that on the television. You guys all.
What did he say? Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
Man, stop lying, guys. Don't ever do that to my name.
What did he say?
Go find the clip.
Have I said we're going to win the league, Cass?
Do you think?
It sounds more like Deji. Deji sounds like Deji said that before. I don't know if
well, Patrick said 3-1 or something. And 3-1, like, score line means that you completely dominated. And then he wouldn't, like, you guys got dominated. Like,
George, before the season started, did you predict that Spurs will finish above Chelsea?
Yeah.
No, David, let's get something clear. For one, I never said we're going to win the league. And what I did say on the show even last week, I said Chelsea have a better squad than us, bro. So what are you on about? We're a better team. We're going to finish above you. I still think we're going to finish above you. It doesn't mean you have a better squad. It doesn't mean you have a superior squad, though. They're two different things. But I'll let Terry continue with his super chats.
What?
Either way,
David, you're actually more rattled. Like you're
no. He said no. I literally.
No, I think Chelsea fans were
word
really...
for word. I remember word for word that one. I remember word for word. George said they can literally challenge for the league, and two, my head is rattled because I'm the only positive Chelsea
George
fan
never said that.
For some reason.
I've never said we're going to challenge the league.
You know what, though? I don't feel bad because anytime I'm on here, people tell me I said things that Igal said. So I don't feel bad.
I hear you. I hear that.
You know what, George? Because you and Patrick both said it. No, receipts. Give me my receipts, man.
I run the
receipts. Run it. You can't get copyrighted on your own content. Run it. Let's go.
Hang on. Let me just see. KJ's put that in, but I can't click on that link. KJ, DM it to me and I'll put it up. I'm sorry, David. Di Matteo won the Champions League. Winning the Champions League doesn't make a manager better. David, a question: is Ancelotti better than Pep, Fergie, and Mourinho?
No, you see, I'm different. I believe that it is harder to win the league than to win the Champions League. But I was saying for Don Hussam, it doesn't make sense for him to say that. That was my point.
It's not. Daniel, you're completely correct. You know why you're correct? There's 38 games in the Premier League, including David. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Anyways. Long story short, it's 38 games to play, and but just because Man City might win it quite a few times, it don't matter. It's just the fact is, Champions League is a knockout competition, and obviously you can either you're on form or you're off form. I just feel like this less run of games. I feel like it is easier to win a Champions League, like a cup or something like that, rather than a Premier League. Premier League's very difficult to win, but it's always an argument against for it. But I just think the Premier League's so much harder.
The Champions
even a Liga or something like that. Even a Liga or something like that. The league itself, leagues are hard.
It's more prestigious to win the Champions League. I agree, but it's actually hard.
Can I give you logical reasons why you're both wrong while Terry sets up the clip? Let me tell you logical reasons, not my opinions. Logical reasons. First of all, the reason why it's more difficult to win the Champions League is because you have less margin for error. Even if you look at Champions League from this year, Man City messed up for 120 seconds and lost a tie in which they were better for 2 games overall. So the margin for error is so small. Well, in reverse, in the league, for example, 2 seasons ago when Liverpool had a bad run in 2021 and City won the league, City were like 8th 3 months into the season. Liverpool could, theoretically speaking, lose the first 6 games of the season or draw the first 6 games of the season and still win the league if they win the rest of the games. The margin for error in the Champions League is so small. One mistake, one little mess up and you lose everything. Plus, referring to the Champions League as a cup competition is very disrespectful because the Champions League is not a cup competition. The Champions League is the most prestigious, most difficult competition to win in the world. Look at PSG, how much money they've spent. Look at Man City, how much money they've spent. Clubs have existed for so long, like Arsenal, like Spurs, like so many clubs around the world who are massive clubs who have not won the Champions League. That is speaking on mute. That's how you know he's capping. So that's
the Champions League is hard to win. There's no doubt. I think it depends what league you're in. Bayern Munich, I don't care that Bayern Munich might have 30, 35, 40 league titles. Winning the league with Bayern Munich is easier than winning the Champions League. Winning a Premier League where there's 3 or 4 teams that can win it. So if I look at some of when the Premier League was at its strongest, between sort of 04 and like 2012, 2013, where every season, and we know it was the strongest because in that period we dominated Europe as a nation, and 2 or 3 teams every year, 4 teams sometimes were in the running and capable of winning the league. Winning that kind of league title over a 38 game period, the level of consistency you need is harder. I think again, these conversations are contextual. PSG winning a league title is like shooting fish in a barrel. If you do, like when Poch didn't win that league first year, and I only came in halfway through, every year that PSG don't win their league title is should be seen as one of the biggest embarrassments in the history of football. It's like being the only competitor in a beauty competition and coming second. It's embarrassing. It really, really is. By the way, on that clip, I just listened to it on my phone. On the one that had been sent through, George said they'll win a trophy this year, but he said it won't be a league title. To be fair, I do remember a conversation. I don't actually think you said you'd win the league. We're just like winding you up. I think you said you think you could challenge somewhere like that. Like you could put a challenge on something along those lines. I don't think you said that you'd win it. Ricky Saxa 100% thinks you can win the league this year. Back to these super chats. Guy in the bandana. I've not heard that word in ages. It's a durag, but there we go. Was talking about Conte being better than Tuchel, only for Tuchel's Chelsea to dominate Conte's Spurs for the 4th time in a row.
That's a great
United has bigger revenues, bigger fan base, more shirt sales, and bigger club value. Very close trophy count. United is easily a bigger club than Liverpool and biggest in England. Not even a debate. I mean, big again. I was
take your fan base and your club value and your more shirt sales, and I'll have the more trophies. Thank you very much. That's why we're the bigger club.
Well, it's the most successful, absolutely. The difference in those conversations. Conte record versus Tuchel record is hella spooky. Is what again? The records are great, but what it really comes down to in brass tacks is trophies won. When you're comparing clubs, players, managers, you look at what they have won and what they have achieved. It's like this. As an individual player, Harry Kane's one of the best strikers the Premier League has had, but he has almost 0 Premier League legacy. He ain't won one. Like he doesn't have a Premier League legacy. You have to win the trophy, in my opinion, to have one. Havertz is underrated. Aubameyang won't do F all.
That is just, we've been waiting for Havertz to Havertz at some point. He ain't done nothing. Aubameyang is a superior player to Kai Havertz. Like, he's gonna bang. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. What are we still waiting on Kai Havertz to do? He's living off of that Champions League final goal. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think he certainly is. Who is better, Lewandowski or Rooney? Probably Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
I think Wayne Rooney is an overall footballer because Lewandowski couldn't play in midfield. Like, there's elements there, but Lewandowski is a better. I'm going to give a very political answer. Better professional, because Rooney's body by 29, I think it was all them pie and chips on a Friday night and locking himself away drinking. I watched his documentary; it's very good. Lewandowski, both brilliant. They're very different though, but yeah, Lewandowski achieved more probably. Wayne Rooney still world class though. They're both. Do you know? It's one of them things. It's like they're both absolutely sensational. So both brilliant. I've already had that one here. Yeah, that one. I don't want to miss any and be rude. Direct comparisons between managers is stupid. Too many variables to take into account. Let's just all agree. Fergie's the best. No credit for Klopp making Lewandowski. No credit for Fergie making Ronaldo or Rooney. Then no credit to Mourinho for making. No, but that isn't the argument that's being made. Of course, Jurgen Klopp gets credit for that. We're not talking, but nobody said that Klopp's better than Tuchel because he developed Lewandowski. The argument was that he won the league in Germany and Thomas Tuchel didn't. But of course, those top class players left. So that wasn't the conversation. If it was who has developed the best players, then you could look at it and see who Tuchel has developed and who Klopp has developed, and you could that's a very easy thing to argue. So no disrespect, that wasn't the argument, my friend. I don't think it was, unless I was not listening. United, only English club to win a treble in a league like the Premier League, is humongous. I'm a Chelsea fan, Hussam, is what Julius says.
Julius, listen. Chelsea and United fans. Always, Chelsea United fans always like to do this, where they like repeatedly kiss each other's ass for some reason. My thing is, when it
Just
comes
like you and
to
City
the biggest club, you can have the stadium, you can have the fan base, the revenue. I'm taking more trophies. We've got more major trophies, more trophies. Full stop. You know, it's just how it goes. So the reason why Barcelona and Real Madrid are the two biggest clubs in the world is because they have more trophies than everyone else.
Yeah,
it's
again,
just how it goes. Plus, you're talking about treble. Terry, can I respond, please?
But
Please,
they're in a
let me
2-0.
respond.
They're in a 2-0.
Let me respond, please, Terry. Julius, you're talking about, you know, the first English team to win a treble. No problem. 1984, we won a treble, not the treble, but we won a treble. We were the first club to do it. So
here we go.
By that logic, Man United have actually got the same amount of European Cups as you, because we've won the smaller ones more. Don't start that nonsense. Come on now.
Terry, you saw the newspaper headline. Just say.
I mean, Chelsea are the only team to have the Europa League and the Champions League held at the same time, so I think we're the biggest club. You know what?
Yeah. Like, let's not start doing that. Let's not start doing it. I wanted to ask a question though. Dom Hassam, I'm coming to you first on this big question. How badly will Liverpool beat Man United on Monday?
As bad as we are, you know, we are not in the sewers like Man United. I still am confident. I said there's only 12 points guaranteed every season, and I stick by that. I think we do beat United, and I think we beat them badly. I think we're probably going to beat them by 4 or more goals. Looking at Man United, they're absolutely dreadful, man. Like, even if Liverpool go out there and play, like, even if they play to the level they played against Palace or against Fulham, I still think we win the game. And even looking back at last season, the midfield going into that game at Old Trafford that we won 5-0, where we were singing Ollie's at the wheel at Old Trafford, most embarrassing moment in Premier League history. The midfield was Curtis Jones, Milner, and Henderson. So, like, against Man United, as crazy as the statement of what to say sounds, it's actually true. Against Man United, midfield control is not a necessity, because Man United's midfield ain't it to begin with. So, you know, it's sort of something you can bypass, because you're going to create so many chances, so many opportunities. And I really think we will tuck them away, man. It'll be our first win of the season. So I'm quite confident about it. However, this does not change anything big picture for me. I've already conceded the league title. I think the only time I change my mind is if we do buy a midfielder. But that, I think big picture, we ain't winning the league and stuff. So even if we beat Man United, it doesn't really bother me. And the funny part is, and Terry will know exactly what I'm talking about. The funny part is, you know, with as he refers to them as communist Merseyside. Now, you know, there's people not even who are not even Scousers who are part of that, you know, sort of communism train of thought. But the funny part is, what I find really funny in my fan base's content creators more than anything else, something that I find extremely funny is now all of them are pretending that they've been asking for a midfielder anyway. All of them are pretending that, you know, oh my God, we've been saying this all summer, blah, 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 blah.
Who's all of them? Name some names.
I ain't naming names. Yeah, well, everyone watching right now knows exactly who they are as well. So ain't no need to name names.
No need to.
So look,
if you're gonna
for me personally, Cass, stop trying to get me to fight. You yourself know who it is already. So stop, brother. So
I respect him, man. Opinions are opinions, bro.
No. It's just I just don't listen. Well, I'm not gonna get into specific details of specific people. However, all I'm saying is, you know, I don't want to be right. I want to be proven wrong. But as things are going, I am gonna get proven right. However, the game against Man United on the weekend, Terry, I think, with all due respect, is a foregone conclusion. I think we win that anyway.
No.
If that's all your argument,
am I allowed to go? Let me go. Yeah.
No.
Look. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel like if Man United have to turn up at some point, maybe might not be next week, maybe, but I have to be positive yet again and forget about Brentford yet again. And I feel like as long as we drop a few, man, maybe get somebody, and maybe I don't know. If we actually play counter-attacking football, I think we can win. I feel like Palace showed a little trick or two about counter-attack as well. What could really happen against Liverpool? Now, Angry Carroll is now sent off and he's not coming on anymore. So I don't know who they're going to play up strike. I don't know if they're going to even get some goals. Their midfield is looking kind of no. Yeah, Firmino don't bother me anymore. Thiago's injured. Who else is injured? Jota's injured.
Matip.
Matip's
Cap, you're
injured,
making the same
Konate's
mistake
injured.
United
Anyways,
fans
no,
always
no,
do.
you know what? No, George,
Same
respectively,
mistake last
keep your
season,
keep your
Same
trophy for this
mistake.
club out of this. Don't care about it. Long story short, I reckon Man United could get a result here, man. Honestly, because it's a derby at the end of the day, and anything can happen. And I feel like this whole demeanor around Liverpool might be bigger than you think. Like, I reckon we can actually get a result. So I reckon we can definitely. I think if he puts Varane back in, the only thing that worries the most actually is Luis Diaz v Delo. I think that's the part. I'm not joking. That's gonna be torture. But I reckon if Malacia starts, I reckon Malacia will have a good game and he can do something. I reckon inverted stuff could really help against Salah. But at the same time, it's just about the midfield as well. If he gets it right, maybe.
Cass, you sound like you don't believe any of this right now. It sounds like
I
you
do.
This is
I'm deep in it. Maguire's not sitting. Maguire's not starting. We beat you 3-0 last year. Anyways, long story short, that's what we thought about your club, and we beat you 3-0. But what's it called? I think we can get a result, whether it's a W or I don't really care. We've been above you 6 times in the last 10 years.
Genuine question, Cass.
No, I reckon we can get a result.
Can I ask you a genuine question? Did you see the report that came out earlier on that the players are saying they don't think that Ten Hag is playing to their strength against Liverpool? Does that scare you at all?
And where does
The
that
players
come from?
themselves
You're not
don't
sitting
think
in a low block at home.
It's funny how you say that, because as soon as the reports come out about Maguire getting dropped potentially, then those reports start coming out. So what does that tell you? Okay, then.
Wait, you think Maguire being dropped makes a
Someone's
difference to my
leaking
life?
shit. Someone's leaking stuff, and I'm just saying, Maguire can't hold up his come on.
This game.
We can get a result. We can get a result.
You guys are
No,
gonna
we
try
can
to
get a
play
result.
football, and it's gonna be a bloodbath. Like,
this is
no, I actually don't think it's gonna be a bloodbath. I think you guys will get outplayed. But
a little humbling 2-1.
Yeah,
I'd be concerned as a Liverpool fan if it was 2-1. If I was a Liverpool fan and they only beat us 2-1, I'd be very concerned. But I reckon we can get either a point out of you, or even maybe even a W actually. I just don't think Liverpool are that good right now. They're not.
Even if they're not that good, that doesn't. Okay, let me just stop. Okay,
We're trash, but
out of these
Liverpool are bad too right now.
Your last 3 games, Brentford, Brighton, and this is probably the one that you have the best chance of getting something out of, because you're gonna be the underdog. You guys are not gonna be tasked with trying to play like Liverpool is gonna dominate the play, so that you guys just have to do your whatever, kick it over the top. But I just still feel like there's just too much uncertainty with your team and the way you guys are trying to play. I don't think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna comprehensively outplay you, but the score will be weirdly close. But you still lose. Like, you're still gonna lose. Like, so
I reckon we can nick it.
Again, this might be me. As Sam said, Chelsea and our Man United fans seem to like. We seem to love giving each other props. I genuinely can see a draw here, right? And it's for the simple fact that there is that Firmino.
That you love being
and
edgy.
No. And I do love being edgy. I said Mitrovic will get more goals than Gabby Jesus this season in the Prem, and I'm sticking by it. Okay. But my thing is that when you saw against Fulham, when it wasn't Nunes, when it was Firmino, them man, they were struggling. And yeah, I know attacking the right way and blah, 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 whatever, jibber jabber. My thing is that I think that United can come out, and if they do the right things in terms of sitting deep and counter, I'm looking at Terry's face. If they do the right things, sit in and counter, right? They'll concede a goal, but they could also score a goal. And you know what? I love seeing Liverpool in the mud. So I'm going to predict.
It's not funny. You know what's funny? It's not even United fans. It's not even United fans. How many times have you even confident?
One sec, guys. Let me ask David a question, because this is edgy o'clock as we can see. David, Mr. Edgy, let me ask you one question. How many times have you made that same exact statement about Man United? That concluding.
Sam, I'm not even
if stuff goes well and the rainbows align and the weather's nice outside, shit might happen, right? Come on, man.
You know when Doctor Strange does all them, all the possibilities. It's 1 out of 3 million. But you know what? The way this season's going, it's gonna be that one time.
I need to interject.
This is it. The internet is gonna shut down. Like,
do you know what's crazy about this? Like, I'm someone that doesn't like foregone conclusion predictions. Generally speaking, I think whenever you speak about sport as a foregone conclusion, You're proving you actually don't understand sport. When people just no way, France are going to win the Euros, easy. No way, Liverpool will win. They're the superior team. Gonna happen. Like where there's no even like thought that something else could go awry. I am desperate to stop Liverpool from getting all 3 points. Of course, more so to win. Just shut people like Dom Hassam up where they know it's going to be a guarantee of 3 points. I want to believe in what Cass said. I want to believe in what David said. But there is not a cat's fucking hell in chance. There is not on it. I actually mean this.
I clip this, KJ. Thanks.
Clip it up. I am actually genuine when I say this. I am dreading Monday because I have absolutely no hope, no belief. No, there's not an element of me that is looking forward to watching this game. If I wasn't a content creator, if it wasn't my job to do that now, I would not watch the game because it doesn't matter how well we play for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. As soon as they score, and they will score because we leak like a broken fridge. As soon as we score, our heads are going to go down, and they are going to pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4. And for the Premier League, it's a shame that Liverpool are playing Man United now because we're probably going to ignite Liverpool into some sort of form because they have been horrendously poor by their standards in the opening 2 games. But Man United are going to give them 3 points. They're going to give them 2 or 3 goals minimum, and we're not going to score. We are going to get to the end of August, Man United, and our goal of the month competition is going to be an own goal against Brighton. And I'm not playing people go, oh, you're playing it down for reverse psychology. I'm not. I mean, I have zero belief that we can pull anything out. Now, I want us to do it. Like, if we were to win the game, listen, we could win the next 10 games. I'm not going to change my mind about our ownership. I'm not going to change my mind about half the things that I'm saying. I want us to win, but I just can't back. I can't back any scoreline other than 3-0 minimum to Liverpool in this game, as far as I'm concerned. We're going to get battered.
You know what?
I can suffer a defeat. I can suffer a defeat, yeah, and be thinking, but don't be around me if we get a result. Just don't be around me. I can come on, lose 4-0, I'll be mad, whatever, I can take it. But don't be around me if we get a result. I swear, I'm on live. I can't wait.
I don't think Liverpool are going to be the free-flowing, high goal-scoring team that they are, what they have been, especially this season. But in this game, I don't think that's what you guys need to worry about. I think the worry is if you have another performance like you did against was it City at home last season where they beat you 2-0, but it was pretty much a training game. They didn't even have to step out of second gear. They just passed it around. They had fun, and that's what I fear happening to your team. And if that happens again, it says a lot about the character of the team and them not believing in the manager. And that for me is the biggest worry for you guys because.
I don't think it's not even believing in the manager. It's about throwing the manager under the bus. Like you always see those stories today. Oh, he's treating us like they're treating us like at school teacher level. This is why I get annoyed at Man United fans and I call them out. And I know a lot of United fans don't like me doing that, but it's not my fault that you feel guilty for your poor behaviors. That's not on me, you know. They've been given the same excuses for every manager for the last 3 or 4, and Man United fans buy into it. When we had unfashionable coaches who had very British and Irish names, who didn't have great CVs. Oh, see, I told you I was right about these dead coaches. They said the same thing about Ralph. They're now saying the same thing about Ten Hag's people. Like, and it's you sort of look at it like, as a coach. You ain't got to like him, but Steve McLaren as a coach and in football has achieved more than 95% of this Man United squad. Like, and you've got Man United players that are not wanting to listen to him. It's crazy for me, but for me, I actually agree with you, George. I don't want to see it like a training ground. I would rather us, if we're losing and getting outplayed, get a couple of red cards, smash a few Liverpool players up in the air. It's a derby. Go and hurt a couple of them. Like, not break their legs or injure them for a season, but put yourself up. No. Liverpool fans can take it. I remember there was a challenge that Fabinho made on Dan James a few seasons ago where you smashed him, and 3 of the biggest Liverpool fan channels and content creators on Twitter put the clip out and said that's a proper tackle, and you got hundreds of thousands of retweets and likes, and Liverpool fans were like, that's football. So we should that's what I at least want to see is Man United players getting stuck in, throw a tackle in, you know, get physical.
It might not even go ahead though. It might not even go ahead though. Like, honestly, I'd rather get called off. I'd rather get called off.
That's all you want to see.
No, I'd rather get called off. I'd actually rather walk off, go invade the pitch, or whatever it happens, and just get called off anyways. I don't think it's going to go ahead. Honestly, I don't. I'll be there to witness it. I don't think it goes ahead.
There is a bit of me that's there like, you guys got lost. What was it? 4-0 last year at home, was it?
5-0 at home.
5-0, right? You lost 5-0. And like, you know, like when Southampton lose 9-0 and then they go and play the same team again, but then they win like 2-1. There's going to be like a mentality of like, guys, on a level, we actually can't lose 5-0 again. We can't. And I just think
we can.
No, the world, you know what the world requires balance. And a balanced result for me is a 1-1 draw. Liverpool get on 3 points, Man United on 1 point, and we're all happy except for Sam. And that's the world in its balance. Everyone happy except for Sam.
It's only it really worked like that.
That's a shit one.
Yeah. Listen, David. You know, like when someone gives a really uninspiring. I'm just thinking it's like shut up.
I'm like the cameraman in what's it in All or Nothing.
David,
like,
I love this club. I don't actually think David believes what he's saying. Like,
I'm lying to my team right now.
You know when you get those guys at a beach or at a tourist place that are trying to sell you tat and junk, but they're telling you how good it is. Do you know what I mean? You ever bought like a pair of sunglasses in Turkey and you get in the swimming pool and the chlorine rips off all the that's how I feel about
Rolex,
your
this Rolex is £20, right? But trust me, it's a Rolex and it's gonna be fantastic.
Bro. Yeah, Tolex. Do you know what I mean? A pair of little Tolex watch. There's got some super chats here. Don't criticize Havertz. He has more legacy than Arsenal. Okay. Hussam, Madrid won 3 Champions Leagues back to back with Zidane and won the league once. In the Champions League, you can still you can rest until December and then play. You can't do that in the Premier League, is what Zane says.
Correct. That's why Alex Ferguson won 13 league titles, only 2 Champions Leagues.
So it's harder then. You agree?
So that's why Klopp only got 1-on-1.
I'm just using reverse logic. That's an illogical argument to make.
Oh, it's not illogical. You didn't debunk his logic. You agreed with it.
No, I did debunk his logic because if it's easier using his logic, not mine. He said Zidane won 3 Champions Leagues but 1 league. Okay, Ferguson won 13 league titles and only 2 Champions Leagues. So where do we go from here? Using certain managers,
where we go from here. Zinedine Zidane has said that Fergie's the greatest club manager of all time. That's where we go from here.
No, but that's not the argument. You're missing the argument here. The argument is just because a manager won the Prem more than the champs or the champs more than the Prem doesn't mean it's more difficult or easier to win. Like that's not the study case.
It's cup competition versus league competition. League competition is the ultimate barometer for how good you are, I suppose. But maybe that's why we need the Super League, where we're just in a league with these European teams, and then we'll see. But anyway, Kaz, Man United's version of Egal, you are delusional. There we go. I don't think we get the result. Fragile players. If Liverpool go 1 up, it will be 4. 10-0 fraction of time, and I think we've got the Glazers to fry rather than Liverpool. Listen, if we start getting beat like that, I could see these fans storming the pitch. That guy in the German kit is a perfect example of why eye test merchants and stat merchants always foul. Mitro more goals than Jesus.
How do you work that out? Well, first of all, I'm not the biggest stat man ever, right? And second of all, my Jesus just doesn't finish his chances very well. And Mitrovic, I just has a feeling he's going to score quite a lot of goals. And he has penalties.
David, if I were you, I wouldn't have it. He used you as the example of like what not to be, bro. That's wrong.
Nah, man. Nah, there's only one of me in the world. There's only one of me. You can't be David.
And he's edgy as hell.
Yeah,
man. Listen, people, we didn't get through all the subject matter tonight, but we've got a show to go and record, so we do have to end. But back tomorrow with more content for you. Straight facts back tomorrow evening as well, and then match reactions over the course of the weekend. Monday, of course, the Done Deal show with Dean Jones, top 6, and then I'm going to be up here for all of that because it's Liverpool, Man United, and I'll have to be back in the studio. And can't wait for Monday. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be brilliant. Do you know, I think it'd be like watching your missus go out on a date with another geezer. That's how it feels. Like you're being like, honestly, it's the worst.
Harry, why all the cheating examples today? What's going on? What's going on with the cheating situation?
What are you up to? Why are you so worried about it? Like it's one of them.
I'm just saying.
Like those guys
us men are supposed to back each other.
It's a bit like guys online where someone says, "Oh, that guy's good looking." Everyone goes, "Oh, you're sus." Why are you so panicked? Man's good looking. What? You all right, mate? What have you got to tell us? Do you know what I mean? Only insecure men go, "Oh, sus, bruv," and kids. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Slow yourselves down. Listen, people, smash that like button before you leave. Please subscribe. Go check out the description below to check out different social platforms that they wanted promoting. Kaz's channels there, Jess's, of course, Dom Hassam's. David ain't on anything, so I don't think we're promoting anything at David's. David ain't here for that. And of course, Man Like George's Twitter account as well. Go check it all out in the links in the description below. Go follow all the people that are on the show as well. But until next time, Terry is under zero pressure. I don't live my life in that way. I'm under pressure with work and with my kids. They're crazy. But other than that, like, no pressure at all. Dean Jones, a storyteller. Yes, that's exactly what journalists do. They tell you stories. I just don't use journalists on the Football Terrace at speaking bullet points because I find it very, very weird indeed. Listen, people, until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon.